Hole 15, I immediately regret coming to the long tee pad. We have 799 feet. Now let's go toss some plastic. And we've made it to hole 1 of Tyger Park in Woodruff, South Carolina on another bitter cold morning out here. We are starting off with the perfect hole 1, 276 feet. You want to hold a slight ante the entire way, and this hole without question sets up perfectly for our hex. All right, I think we may have noodle armed that a little bit, but we got some good ground play. It should be a makeable putt. Let's get started. As expected, we did leave ourselves a nice little tester putt for breakfast. The putting has been struggling a little bit, so hopefully today we can correct that. The answer is probably not. Hole 2, it's only 226 feet. We have to hit this initial gap off our tee shot with a strong left finish. This is one of the rare times that I'm going to use a fairway driver for a hole this short. I think if I push the putter, I'll hang too straight and clip one of those trees up there. So we are going to go with our scepter. Oh, well, we still caught a tree down there, but at least we didn't hang too straight. We had the right idea. We did find ourselves in a tricky situation here. We have 31, 32 feet. We can go with a low burning ante putt or a high lofty hyzer putt. I think I'm gonna go with the hyzer putt just because if I miss the low ante, I'll probably end up 20 feet away for our par. Well, that wasn't very good. Hole 3, 334 feet, very tough pin to reach off our tee shot. We want to go with a big ante or sidearm the entire way, but the ceiling is pretty low. I think this would set up for a nice roller if you do have it in the bag, but unfortunately we do not. So I am going to full send our Valkyrie. Oh, yep. We caught some of that low ceiling up there. We need to turn this round around, you know what I mean? We still have 141 feet to the pin. It looks like there is a drop off behind the basket, so this is not a shot that we want to make a full run at. I'm gonna take my Envy, put it on a slight ante, hopefully give it a run, but still land safe. All right, exactly what we needed. For the par, hole 4, the course is really starting to warm up now. 378 feet, dead straight. Because the Orc has been on the struggle bus lately, I did bring back an old gem of mine, my Garrett Girthy Wraith. It's been a long time since I've thrown this thing. It used to be my go-to driver on almost every shot, so let's see how it does. Hook up. Oh, that thing flies so pretty. Oh my gosh, what a shot. I think we actually went deep. That might stay in the bag for a while. Hopefully we can knock this one down, get some momentum moving forward in our round. Let's go, we needed it. I just want to give a quick shout out. In Woodruff, I found the best place to park Garetta. It was at a grocery store. There's other stores within walking distance. It was absolutely perfect. And the best part was somebody called the cops on me. Yes, you heard that right. For the 3rd time now, Garetta has been called in, and you hate to see it, but it is part of van life. Hole 5, everybody loves these holes. 200 feet. Dead straight tunnel shot, slightly uphill. You're usually either getting an ace run or fighting for par because you didn't hit the initial gap. I am gonna go with the Champion Rhino just because I feel like I need to really commit to this shot to hit the tunnel, and the Envy would probably go way past the basket, and the Rhino should settle down a lot faster. Oh, Oh, that slipped right out of my hand. Definitely fighting for par. Oh, goodness. Well, you absolutely hate to see it. We still have 98 feet. We can go with this very touchy, slight ante shot, or we can straddle out and go for kind of a wider hyzer shot. The only thing in our way is this branch right in front of our face. I think I am gonna go for the hyzer bailout shot with our splice. Oof. Wow, we got some really weird roll up there. I did not expect that, but hopefully we can knock that putt down. We have left ourselves a tester now, probably about 28, 30 feet for the par. Yes, 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 yes. The putting is starting to feel a little bit better, and man, am I happy to see it. Hole 6, 355 feet. This is a pretty tricky shot shape. You want some slight turn off your tee shot for quite a while, and then a fade back to the left. We are gonna give the Orc another shot to see if we're gonna go with this or the Wraith for the rest of the round. Oh, that felt perfect. Oh, why did I open my mouth? That felt perfect. These low ceilings are gonna kick our butt today, I think. Luckily, the Orc did kick back down into the middle of the fairway, so no complaints there. We still have 112 feet, very runnable shot, dead straight. We are gonna go with our Pro Rhino. Oh my gosh. I threw that right into the dirt. It wasn't pretty, but we still got the 3. We got the 4. It wasn't pretty at all, but we got the 4. Hole 7, it's only 216 feet, but because the basket is elevated and we have a low ceiling, this is a very hard hole to run. I feel like we're almost guaranteed to hit the low ceiling. We could play it safe for an easy birdie, but we are gonna give it a run with our Envy. Oh no. Oh, not a very good run and a very challenging putt. Not quite as far away as I thought, but it's still not one that we want to miss. Probably about 22 feet. Nice putt. Hole 8, 296 feet. You can go with a dead straight route or a pretty tricky hyzer route. I'm gonna go with the dead straight route, and being that it is slightly uphill, we are gonna disc up to our PFN T-Bird. Oh no, I did not throw that well, yep. Caught a tree, should be a pretty easy up and down though. Here's where the T-Bird ended up. We have a 96 footer and there's a huge drop off immediately behind the basket. I really hope we don't roll down there. We're gonna give it a nice little half bid with our Rhino. I know that was weak, but I really didn't want to go way down that hill and try to fight our way back up. For the par, hole 9, and talk about an absolutely gorgeous tee shot. I love throwing through these natural tunnels with the ceilings on them. We have 232 feet, slightly downhill, kind of a hyzer shot. We are gonna go with our Rhino. Hook up, please. All right, I think that ended up pretty good for a much needed birdie. Hole 9 break, and today I'm gonna tell you guys about some more parking lot shenanigans that have happened here at Tossing Plastic. Yesterday, while sitting in a Walmart getting ready to edit, as I do, I noticed an old pizza box sitting in the middle of the parking lot. There's a bunch of crows that came down, got their fill of pizza, and took off. Now, a lone brave seagull came in to try to get the rest of the pizza, and that's when the crows bounced. They were watching, they were preparing their ambush. So me being myself, I felt bad for the seagull. I reached into my pocket, got some pocket crust, rolled the window down, and threw it out of the van. And now here's where things get interesting. Unexpectedly, Craig wanted the crust and went running out into the parking lot to get it for himself. And just like that, the seagull Eagles and the Crows became allies, and they both focused their attention on poor Craig. It really got out of hand, and by the time the dust settled, they had convinced Craig to go to a pizza shop, get a new pizza, and replace it in the middle of the parking lot. A lot of people don't understand it, but there is indeed a hierarchy in big parking lots, and let me tell you guys, humans were at the bottom. Hole 10, it's time to wake the arm up. We have 546 feet. The basket is basically just dead straight. You can go with this left sidearm lane, you can go with a huge bailout hyzer lane, or you can try to send something up the gut, get some nice turn, and then have it fade back in. That's what we are gonna try to do, and we're gonna full send our Wraith because why not? Get through there. Oh, come back. Please come back. Well, we're either in a tricky spot or we are even... Well, we've ended up in probably the worst lie that we could have. We are right against the supports for the telephone pole. We still have 140 feet. We could go for some light ante shot to make a run for it, but that just doesn't seem necessary. I'm gonna take my Kia, throw it on a big hyzer, hopefully get the 3 and move on. That was way too high. That was just not good. Just not a good shot. Really not impressed with our upshot there. We definitely should do better. We have left ourselves probably 33 feet. Definitely a tester for the 3. Oh my goodness. For the 4. Hole 11, 478 feet, dead straight. We definitely don't want to hyzer out too early because then we'll end up in that long grass over there, but the wind is starting to pick up, so we are going to disc up to our Firestorm to try to fight it. All right, crash down. All right, not a ton of distance, but we did stay in the fairway. We still have 174 feet. This hole does gain some sneaky elevation, so I'm gonna push it a bit farther than that. And because we are dealing with a headwind, I'm gonna go with my Kia. Hyzer in. All right, good, not great. For the 3. Hole 12, 234 feet. We don't really have a hyzer lane here. You want to go with something dead straight on a flip up or a slight ante or a sidearm. I'm going to try the sidearm. Normally I would just toss the Envy, but I think I'd completely cover the camera. So we're going to flick our scepter up there, hopefully leave ourselves a putt. Oh. We landed in a great spot, but I'm not sure how long our skip was. Let's go find out. I know for a lot of people that's a pretty textbook sidearm shot, but for me, that's a big win. Hole 13, 245 feet. It is quite a bit uphill, but we have a ton of room to work with off to the right. It should be perfect for a full Kotuku. Doesn't get much more perfect than that. For the 2. Hole 14, another gorgeous tee shot, 363 feet, basically dead straight, quite a bit downhill. You really don't want to hyzer out or ante too early. We are gonna full send our Wraith. That's way too low. Dang, I think that would have looked pretty if it actually was in the air. We're gonna have a really long putt, not great. We've left ourselves a 75 footer. It is pretty wide open, so we should be able to give it a good bid. It's hard when your putting's off because in my head already, I feel like I've already missed this, but hopefully we can push through that and give it a run. Nope, not even close. Not even close. For the par. Do any of you guys have a local park that just always seems to be windy? I ran into that at Lakeview Park, but remember it doesn't have a lake view. And then one of my local courses called Ross Park is right by an airport, so the wind is just always ripping through that course. And I kind of feel like that's how this one is. Yesterday that probably averaged about 20 miles an hour with gusts up about 30. I'm really hoping we can get through it pretty quick today to beat the wind. Hole 15, I immediately regret coming to the long tee pad. We have 799 feet. We want to go with a huge hyzer shot, but we have to hang straight for quite a while, and then it looks like it's a right turn up to the basket. We are going to full send our Firestorm. Come on, don't hit the branches. Get through there. That was looking really good. We got hit down and we got hit down fast. That is a huge bummer. All right, we are in a world of hurt here. I knew I was trying to push the ceiling because if we would have hit it, we'd want that elevation to carry us farther down the turn. This close to being really good. Now we're in huge scramble mode. I'm gonna try to get some big turnover sidearm. I'm not sure how aggressive I should get with this, but let's see. Answer is very aggressive. We're gonna take our orc, throw it on a huge sidearm angle. Hopefully it can fight its way up there and just not go in the woods. That sounded very loud. At this point, we're just trying to fight for a par. This is really collapsed in a quick way. I'm just gonna take my splice, try to hit this little gap on a sidearm, get out there and make a play for the pin. Oh, perfect. Going for that big tee shot can get you in a world of hurt, and then going for the second shot, we just have not played it well. We still have quite a ways to go. I'm gonna try to rip my scepter as hard as I can on a flex sidearm shot and hopefully save our par. For any of you still watching, I want to say thank you. We still have 180 feet, absolute mess. We still could have the best par of all time. This is a par 5. I actually am going to just use my scepter again, flick it on a sidearm. Hopefully it'll skip in and something crazy will happen. Sure didn't, but we should be able to get our bogey and finally move on. For the 6, and that is a number that you never want to have to say when you're playing disc golf. Oh, at least we made that putt. It was not an easy one. Hole 16, 310 feet, dead straight. We have a lot of room to work with. I'm not sure what happened to the rest of this tee pad. It's only about 4 feet long, but we are going to go with a nice and soft Firebird. All right, hopefully we can knock that down and get our round back on track. We've left ourselves a tricky, probably 16 feet, way uphill for the 2. Oh. Hole 17, 431 feet. If you want to go for the basket and that final opening up there, you need about 420 feet of carry. You can go with a layup in this first big opening, but of course we are going to full send it. I did just chat with a local for about 15-20 minutes, so I do feel very stiff and cold. We are going to full send it anyway with our champion boss. Oh my goodness. All right, that did not fight back. We might be in the road. I'm not really sure where that is. I'm sure it's OB in about 10 different ways, but let's go find it. We didn't quite make it to the road, but I did slide the boss in a little bit. There are way too many cars coming in and out of here, and I don't want it to get ran over. We still have 96 feet. We did go past the basket quite a bit. I think the wind had a bigger impact than I planned, but hopefully we can get a nice run with our hammer. Oh. Not a terrible run. I do love how they have a lot of their baskets set in rocks. It's very cool, very distinctive. And rounding off our exciting day here at Tyger Park, we have hole 18, 674 feet. It is way up there and to the right. We're just trying to get as much distance as we can with this tee shot. We are gonna go with our boss. Oh, it's so low. All right, we'll take it. We're in the middle of the fairway. It was safe. We still have 308 feet to the pin. It is located up there on the top of the hill, so a roll away is definitely in the cards. I'm gonna take something more overstable, keep it low, and just try to dive into the side of the hill, play for a 4. We are gonna go with our Firebird. Not great. There's no reason that we should be leaving ourselves a 70-footer with the basket located right on the side of the hill, but that's where we're at. Luckily, I do have more of a hyzer putt style, so we should be able to avoid the big downslope unless I just really mess it up, but let's see what happens. I think in the back of my head, I was never really gonna give that a run. I was too worried about a crazy roll away. Not our best round today, but I sure did enjoy it. And that wraps up today's video at Tyger Park in Woodruff, South Carolina. And guys, the first thing I'm gonna say is this course is pretty enjoyable. Tyger Park has a great mixture of short and technical shots on the front 9, and then as you enter the back 9, it really opens up. You can air the arm out, go for those big bomber shots, and just have a good time. The layout, the signage from hole to hole, the tee signs, the whole shebang here is very nice. You are not going to get lost, and you will have a great ease of play while making your way through the course. With the short and long tee pads, Tyger Park can be enjoyed by people of all skill levels. In fact, the local I was talking to is about to turn 71, and he comes out here almost every single day to get around in, and you love to see it. Another thing to keep in mind, I think wind is always going to be a factor here at Tyger Park unless it's just this time of year, but with some of those elevation and those long bomber shots, it really forces you to take wind into account for your shots. And probably my favorite thing about Tyger Park is this course is pretty much as hard as you want it to be. If you just want to go in casually and play for your pars, it is very doable, but it also has these openings where you can really stretch to try to get those birdies, but it's going to require a very good and very accurate shot. Overall, I'm going to give Tyger Park the very solid score of 8.5 out of 10. It doesn't have anything that's going to completely blow you away, but as far as just an overall great, well-rounded course that everyone can enjoy, this is it. I've really been surprised with Hub City supplying 2 back-to-back very highly scored courses. That is not something that you see on the channel very often. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Now it's your turn to go toss some plastic.